are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
What we want do to please you? Yeah, we get people around, oh. They acting that they let you when you show up. I saw you turn your body and it choked off. You buy your Lego, yeah, then people buy you Lego, yeah, then if you can post your man, yeah, then baby, you post your man, yeah, then if you want ever go ever to your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody. If you want ever go ever to your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody.
So I said, take body. It's a long my storage like very. Oh, take body. It's a long my storage like very. Yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah.
You let me, you not let me, I went under. You can't say, you not can say, I went under. They spit for me, I'm walking off my fire. They try to throw me down, but I bounce back. I survive, I survive. They try to play that weed, but still I survive. I survive, I survive. I would end up bounce on me one for my enemy. They try to perfect my life. I tell them realize that God picking you won't try. Playing with fire, they perfect my life. I tell them realize that God picking you won't try. Playing with fire. What's a Liberian? What's a Liberian? Then I owe me, oh, then I owe me, oh, then I owe me, oh. Yeah, yo, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yo, yeah. Yeah, 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 yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. And visa, what you make it, yeah, on my project, la visa. And I want you bring it to the Uber, we is a, oh, I'm not talking away, and they own your my sister. Wobi, I do sade, wobi, I do sade, wobi, oh, wobi, and more like you like them, we not follow them. All the funny people, yeah, but we exposing them. Like you like them, we not follow them. All the funny people, yeah, but we exposing them. So if you like it, you get down, tell your mouth, yeah. We let people, we go left, so we don't care. Some men want to crumble little west, yeah. As soon as see you in a belly, little guest, yeah. Wobi, I do sade. Wobi, I do sade. Wobi, oh.
It's one problem music.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You live. This is Bottom Line Liberia. Mr. Dollar, you're live. Mr. Dollar, you're live, please. Mr. Dollar. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined, this is Liberia. Jemai is my name. We're gonna just today is the 11th of November 2025. I'm coming to you live from mainland Europe. My name is Jemai. Tonight we have my colleagues for me. Paul the Lord Philip is live from the city of London, and we have some young Dollar with us. Tonight we want to also announce that our good friend African Linfo Agrangwe is now with us tonight. We just want you to join us to send a special condolences to him. He lost his mom. So wherever you are, Linfo is now with us tonight, and It's a sad news for tonight. So our colleague is actually grieving. We all want to send our hearts out to the family of the Guer family, the loss of their mom. So I want to say welcome to our colleague, Mr. Paul, the Lord to the Paul. Welcome to the borderline. How are you today?
Good evening, gentlemen. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go on, Paul. Your life is clear.
Good evening. It's good to be back on the borderline. I'm doing good. How are you, Paul?
Well, thank you. Just like we do well, just like borderline is bereaved. Our colleague Linford lost his mom yesterday. Was a sad news we got, so we want to send our hearts out to him. And I know it's a sad day for him today, wherever he is. So we want to get a big condolences from the borderline team to Mr. Guer and to his family. Paul it's a difficult thing to lose your parents, and more especially your mom, and I mean your dad as well. And he's far off. His mom passed away in Liberia, and he's actually now really, really grieving. And I spoke to him yesterday, but that's in the house. Whatever you join us, if you know Linford, the African, one of our panelists always on the show, won't be with us throughout this week. So that's the sad story. But anyway, we want to wish the perpetual peace for our mom, and wherever she's rest in peace, Paul.
Yeah, I agree, Jamal. It's one of those things that is just hard to take. Anybody from your side, mom, dad, brother, sister, it's the most difficult thing to accept. But that's the world we live in, and we all have to go through that. So our condolences from the bottom line family to Linford. I mean, we know it's a difficult time now for him, but God's waiting, he will come through this.
Well, thank you very much. So that's it for that. Now I want to say tonight, Paul, what do we got tonight on our menu? We'll take a quick break and tell us what we got from the international. So take a quick break and come back. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, bottom Liberia again, live from mainland Europe. Jamal tonight with me. We got my colleagues. Mr. Dollar, welcome.
Thank you very much, Jamal and Brother Chopley. Happy to see you guys, and so happy tonight.
Thank you very much. We just want to go straight to Paul to tell us what we got on tonight's menu.
Well, today we'll be looking at Africa and what's going on. The thing that's the new leaders, the new ideas of leadership in Africa. We'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at the situation in Nigeria with this thing that Donald Trump has accused Nigerian militants of hating Christians. We'll look at that. And we'll also look at Ukraine. We've learned that proctors have been taken from Ukraine. It's something that the Western media is not talking about. So we display the map, and we keep hearing that 1 million Russian troops are dying, but how come they're killing every day? They're grabbing land. So those are the things to look at. And then we move to Mama Liberia. We discuss the budget. The most talked about budget that the government came over $1.2 billion that they're going to raise for 2026, 2027. So yeah, that will be the talking point for tonight. Gentlemen, I think we'll have a very good discussion tonight.
Paul, we also noticed that on the menu tonight, we'll be talking about, there was a meeting somewhere last week about the voting for Liberians living abroad, taking part in national elections in Liberia. I think the government is looking at that as well. It's something we'll be looking at. If you're living abroad, the Liberian, there's something like the EFLA, the Federation of Liberian Association of Europe, been championing this cause with those in America as well. That Liberians living outside Liberia should also be part of deciding who our leaders are in Liberia. So we'll be looking into that, and we also want to have your thought on this as well. So we want you to share your thought over what do you think Do we have a right to vote? If we have the right to vote, do we also have a right to have a rep in the representing at the House of Legislature for us? We should be considered as another nation out of Liberia as well. So that will be on the menu tonight. So Paul, take us through. What do we got for us tonight for the international? You told me we're going to talk about Nigeria, the Boko Haram in Nigeria, but also tell us about what's happening in Ukraine that it's not in the mainstream media.
Yeah. So I think, well, what would be your suggestion? Should we start from Europe and then enter Africa, then enter Mama Liberia? What do you think?
Yeah, start with Europe, then you go to Africa, from then you go to Liberia.
Right. So this thing about the situation in Ukraine is quite interesting. Because last week we had a discussion on this, and we were told that Russia has surrounded over 20,000 troops in a close region, and on the weekend we learned that that particular precaution now have been taken by the Russians. So the question is, we know that the Western media have been telling us that over millions of Russians are dying. They die every day in thousands. But then the people who die, how come they taking land? And this is the question that we want our audience to also come in. You kidding me?
Yeah, Paul. But you think the thing about this Ukraine war, and we've been discussing. I mean, it's one of the topics, one of the well-discussed topics on this platform. It's like, why is it like the media, the Western media, is turning their back also on those important news stories? What do you think?
Well, that is about the Western media. They they have this propaganda machine that they use because they're in favor of the war continuing in Ukraine. They're not, especially if you hear the group called the coalition of the waiting. These are all Western countries, and all their media institutions to them. So they're not interested in peace. They only want the fight to continue. That's why you keep hearing them. They keep pumping money into Ukraine. And the narrative that they keep carrying in the Western media that the Ukrainians are winning the war, the Russians are dying. So if somebody is winning the war and Russians are dying, how come now Russia is taking huge chunk of Ukraine? Because if you beating somebody, the person will not have that power to seize your land. So what is about the Western media not being honest with what is happening? So this is what the discussion is about. So I'm going to display this map for our audience to see. If you look at the area, is almost like red, but it might look like pink or something. These are all areas that Russia have taken from Ukraine. And this part of Ukraine, if you see it there, these are all powerful. These are where they have the minerals. If you see across over there, they were fighting over the place recent time. You found out that the area now has dropped. It's still under the Russian territory. So every time Russia takes something, they're not going to give it back to Ukraine. This is the situation we face with. So the question here to our audience, we know that the Russians are dying in millions, but then how come Ukraine are winning the war? How Russia managing to seize this area? That's the question. Gentlemen, what say you? Let me start with Padole and then Jamal. Oh, Francis, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Right. Basically, and from onset, this program with that country they call Ukraine is very, very sympathetic. You know, people always say this thing here, but sometimes many people overlook it. If you are selecting a leader, don't select someone based on the popularity. Select somebody based on the qualification the person has. The Ukrainians selected someone who is just a comedian, used to stand on the stage and just make people to laugh. You go to work and accept such a person to be their president. And the Western country, including the former president of the United States, all rally around this young man and made him to go into this kind of predicament situation with Russia. So it's a very, very shocking. And the Europeans are not going to allow to fully involve into this war under no circumstances. So the consequences will be bear by Ukraine. So obviously, the Ukrainians themselves need to come out to take some bold steps to make sure that they will be stopped. Because the Western will not be able to stop it. The country that they were dependent on, which is America, the man who is there now, is not giving them no leverage to give them whatever they want. So obviously, the ordinary citizens of Ukraine will continue to suffer, and they need to step up. That's why I can see in the thing here, because the whole thing is just a fiasco.
Yeah. My daughter said it right. The whole thing's a fiasco. I think Jamal, you will enter on this. No, friends say, what say you? This whole thing here now, the people are dying in millions, but then the people are dying, keep taking over territory. How the West, what the West trying to do? The people are winning the war, they're not seizing the other people land, but the people are losing, taking land. How this work?
I mean, this war is fought on several fronts. Before I give my analysis, my view, I just want to say hi to our audience out there, and good evening to you guys. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good.
Look, as I stated earlier, this war is fought on several fronts. Propaganda, political, and military. And along these different front lines, numerical strength in numbers has paid off for Russia. Russia is, the West using propaganda to fight the Russians. I mean, West in terms of European countries, the NATO and its allies are fighting the Russians' propaganda, and with the few military hardware supplied to Ukraine. But honestly, Ukraine does not have the technology. They do not have the manpower. So that's the reason why Russia is making significant gains on the front. I want to disagree with Mr. Doty, who said a leadership, the Ukrainian president is a comedian, so he does not have leadership acuteness. I mean, this war, it would have been anybody who have been president of Ukraine. Once it's not leading towards Moscow, they will eventually have a war, because prior to Zelensky becoming president of Ukraine, the Crimea and other places were taken before he became president. There was an invasion. So Russia has numbers, they have men, and they have the weaponry, and they have as soldiers fighting for them from Belarus, what you call it, Belarus, North Korea. People are fighting. Local soldiers are fighting the war on both sides. So and the territory that Russians are taking, they are very close to the Ukrainian border. So it's easier for them. And Ukraine and Russia is using, if you notice the trend of the war, during the summer, there's a stalemate. During the winter, that when Russia make its progresses, they progress more during the winter season. So from now to March, April, Russia will have made significant gains. So the war is fought on three fronts: propaganda, military, and on the lines of strength.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal, closer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Paul, you said a lot about what is happening in Ukraine. We all know very well that the fight is not as a losing battle for the West. they've been trying hard to sustain their power in Ukraine. And Zelensky should know that there's an end to this thing. He should be able to come to some terms. I think what we were all hopeful when Trump came to power. We thought, well, Trump would have done better to end this war, and he boastfully said that he has a strategy. He's a very good negotiator to end these wars that are happening around here. I think people are giving the credit for what happened in Israel and in Gaza. I think we just want to see his strength, the charisma that he has in terms of all the skills that he has in terms of negotiating any wars. I think we should see that coming up in Ukraine, in the Russia area. So when that is not coming, he's getting frustrated as well. So what we can say here is like America need to speak with our allies, the European countries, to make sure they end this war. The suffering of people in Ukraine and Russia is getting too much. I mean, this war is not coming to an end. Today in the news, we heard that Ukraine was soldiers will be from certain territories because they were being surrounded by the Russian soldiers. So it just you take, I take, you lose, I lose. Sometimes it's not going well. So they need to come to some terms. They don't that end to this war and let peace prevail. So this is what I've seen so far. Nobody's going to win. We went to the third year now, since only 3 to 4 years now since the war started. It's not ending at all. So we need the Americans need to come forward with the allies, the Europeans need to come. Europeans have spent too much money. Apart from that, like my colleague said, they are fighting propaganda and also military war. So those things, Europeans want to show to the people that their strength is there. They want to stand up their ground. They want to make sure that they win this war, and they're not winning the war. And Russia is so we want America, at least they should know the best thing to do is to move forward and stop this war. I think this is the best way out, Paul.
Yeah, I can't agree more with you, Jamal. I think the U.S. need to put more pressure on this so-called coalition and waiting, because they are the ones that actually encouraging this war to go on more. Instead of them talking about peace, they always talking about we'll arm Ukraine, and because it's in Europe, we need to punish Russia. So I can't agree more with you. So yes, let's move on. Daughter brought the situation, a topic of today regarding the leaders in Africa and their ideology. And some old leaders just going back into the 18th century, while the young people now progressing forward. So Padre, if you free, use this topic about this ideology, about the new leadership, the new concept of leadership in Africa. Talk to us.
You calling me? You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
You're talking about the youth leadership in Africa, right?
The one you raised. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, as I was saying, this I think is a time for the youth to step in our African leadership, to make sure that the old fashions of ruling the administrations of our countries and stuff and things should come to an end, because we could see it. The example of one is this country here called Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso president is one of the youngest president in West Africa. We can see how he progressed things in terms of development, and he trying to prepare sober future for his country. If the youth then can soberly evolve into African politics, they old people then they got a lot of things that to think about in fearfulness, being afraid to harm the person, and be afraid to treat the person bad and this in life. And they got the old system that they be involving from record ages. When they come into power, that's the same thing they do. Look at what happening to Cameroon. The Cameroonian president is another mess in West Africa. You see, the president of Equatorial Guinea is another West. So all these things then need to be wiped up and bring in the young people. I'm not saying that it should be in the form of overthrowing or whatever, but the youth need to be involved in politics and and have control over the activity, the administration of our country, at least to bring in sober development in our continent. That's what I'm saying. Look at Nigeria.
Yeah. So
The old
Padole,
man are in Nigeria. Since he get there, he have not been able to control anything. Things are getting worse every day.
well, Padole people may argue that other countries like Liberia were given, they gave opportunity to a very young footballer, George Weah, in his prime, to govern the country, and his performance was, and we all know the performance. So this thing about young people, I don't know. Friends say talk to me. This Padole suggestion
Can
of
I?
young people coming in. We
Can I?
had George Weah as a young man in Liberia. He
Yeah. Can I?
performed poorly. So how will we make the comparison now? Because we get Tinubu in Nigeria, he's an old man. We get Paul Biya, we know they've been around. But there's other old people that are visionaries. Like the president in Ghana, he's an older guy, but he get vision. So how can you make the comparison? Francis, what say you?
But do they want to add something before I come in?
Yeah, let me just comment on something here. If we are saying that the young men who come into powers in our country, which is George Weah, they not do well, that simply doesn't mean that we should shift over to 80 years old man who never enjoyed his life according to him. Now he enjoying his life now, riding $1.5 million vehicles, and who said that even it cost me to ride wheelbarrow to go and do the Liberian people job. Now he riding $1.5 million worth of car, one single car. Then secondly, he was saying when he was campaigning, you see the money at that.
I thought you taking my time now.
You see that because I'm seeing something while the party is doing that. We made a mistake to give the power to another oldest person.
Padole, he made a point say Africa, so let's limit it to Africa.
Yeah, but you brought in Liberia issue.
I'm telling you, there was a young man in Liberia given the opportunity to do better, and he failed. Now in Ghana just elected somebody who is not young. He's an older guy, and he got vision.
Don't you know that man not even? Don't you know that man not even insisted?
Mr. Dole, what you do, Mr. Dole, you have made a comment. Give chance other people to comment on it. Mr. Dole, wait.
No, you're not asking. You want to make come and give it chance. So
I wait for my time, Jimmy.
Honorable Francis, just let me lay something clear here, Mr. Dole. We are not debating on the show. When you make your comment, you leave it. We're not arguing to defend yourself. Other people have the right to make a comment as well. Anything, you don't have to react to anything. So Francis, go on, please.
Yeah. So we have a political situation in the country. In Africa. I would want to believe that they have a lot of wise and patriotic older people who can be presidents and who can do better. We have Mr. Cummings, who is getting older, so we will have to discarding from being president of Liberia since he's not in his 20s, he's not in his 30s, or he's not in his 40s. So that's something off the record. But listen, it's easier for us to point fingers when we outside. Governance is a different thing. Look, I'm not giving any excuses. Again, where you find yourself as a president, your priorities, what you do, it's easier for a military leader to do what he's doing as compared to a democratically elected president. You can have decrees, you have the guns around you, you can silence people, you don't need to consult legislature to do anything. You can simply go ahead and say, today I'm buying 20 helicopters, we buy 20 helicopters. We say, today we're doing this, we're doing that. So the leaders, you have a young leader in Guinea as well, with the Guinea opposition is completely crying. You have in Mali, those guys are relatively young. In Niger, these are all. So look, it varies from country to country, individual, and the system of governance. So a military leader will do well in terms of how you govern the country as compared to a democratic system where you have check and balance. You have a lot of civil society groups, challenging you. You have a diplomatic. You now have a lot of things to consider as but yeah, we can do better. We hope to have a leader who will do better and put our country first. So that's my point on that.
So, Jamal, what say you this issue about we should give the young people the opportunity now in Africa, they must be involved more in a democratic process that they can be brought into office. Like Padoli earlier said that Zelensky was a comedian and bringing him without experience, Ukraine is facing this crisis. In Africa, we noted that Nyambo took over in Burkina Faso. He doing exceptionally well. But then in Liberia, we had a young guy too that did poorly. So how do you balance this topic about young leaders and the older leaders?
Yeah, Paul, thank you very much. I do agree that we should open up for new group of young breeds to come in to take on leadership. And as well as we also should understand that we need the older ones to be around, have experience to help them to mold them up to become good leaders. Well, it's everywhere. And if you look at Malaysia, because Mahathir Mohamad, who transformed Malaysia, he was almost 90 something, one of the most long-serving prime minister of Malaysia. He had a good record of making our country a good country. So the issue of Asia, I don't believe in that much. It's a matter of we also should give. It has to do with skills. You come with skills, and how do you mold the country? How do you bring up your country? There are a lot of young people, many areas in many countries are not performing well, and we saw in many countries. I can sit here and name many countries that are not doing very well in terms of age. So age comes with experience as well. But what we should also know, older people should know when to leave the dancing floor. When the music ends, you should be able to leave. That's another thing. So give room to other people. But now when you stay there, you don't mold other people to come in. We have seen across Africa, the long-serving president of Africa, Cameroon President Paul Biya, who's been there for 92 years. So he's not giving chance to others to step in. That's what we're talking about. I think that's why if Mr. Doyle were looking at that argument, I think I would agree 100%. You don't bring all people on to the scene with no experience, with no way of taking forward. So we need to give a chance to others to come in a way that we should prepare the ground for that as well. We should know to exit. That's the way we should help to leave the scene for other people to fill in. So if that happens, then we leave a legacy. But not to stay there until I die in chair. I don't care who comes after me. It's all about me. I think that's the problem we have in Africa.
Right. I mean, those are all valid points. And I see where you head in. Like Paul Biya, for example, he's going to die in office because he at the age of 92, 93, and he's been elected for additional 7 years. So by the time he leaves, he'll be 99 years old. And he's been there for over 40 plus years. What happened? Nobody else in Cameroon can rule the nation, so you are absolutely spot on. Anyway, Padoli, you want to say something before Frank conclude on this?
Yes. I want to bring, when I say that we should allow the young people to be in politics, here is it. In any given situation, you should always prepare your replacement in life. You understand what I'm saying? So if we involve the young people in politics and bring them in leadership, they will learn. So when we retire, the young people take over immediately to carry control forward. You see, look at places like Senegal. The two people that live in Senegal today, Senegal is stable, going well. And the two people, none of them more than 40 years. The prime minister and the president, none of them more than 40 years. So that's what I'm talking about. We should involve the children, we should involve the youth in the polity, African polity. The elder people should at least have the mind that we will get retired, the memory will go away, and some of these unscrupulous people will be around the older people to explore the nation. And the criticism will go on the leaders. Those are honor there, carry on the criminal behavior, and they are not knowing. So let the young people who can think, have the time to read, report, have the time to go through day-to-day activities, information, at least to carry the country forward. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So Francis, conclude on this so we can transition to Nigeria.
No, bro, Paul, I don't have nothing much to say. Look, we have young people who are being trained, who are in queue to govern. I can speak for Liberia. During Edding's administration, a lot of young people went out there to scholarship, Australia, Europe, America, Asia. People, we are not short of trained people, educated people. We are not short of that. What we short of is the leadership wherein patriotism is at the highest echelon. What we prioritize it, we prioritize development, and we put the country first. All the country, we have sent some. We have administration, but administration sent people. A lot of people are way to travel. So Liberia is never short, and Africa has never been short of any. The problem is that we create enemies, perceived enemies for this. They're close on Paul Biya and the rest of the people. Paul Biya, Museveni, all these old guys, they have surrounded themselves with perceived enemies and real enemies of people who did not do anything. I met a Cameroonian guy, that we, working. We meet, going to work. And he jokingly said to me, "Look, let him just die there. So a new person should take over." So look, we got Bobby Wana, the guy in Uganda, the young guy who's a representative. Who knows? So Africa is not short of brains and people of leadership skills. So yeah, just get a chance. That would be more patriotic and more developmental oriented.
I can agree more with you that Africa we not short of brains at all. But the thing is, Jamal says something that caught my attention. You can have the brain, but you don't have the experience. This is a problem that we face with, and the older guys does not give the young people the opportunity to have that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly, Paul.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can take Liberia for example. Liberia get more master degree holders than the population of the Gambia, for example. But give them somewhere, the experience is not there. And that's why people become corrupt, because the older people does not give them the chance to learn. Because in the West here, in UK particularly, they have the thing called apprenticeship, where the young people can't learn from the older people. As they leave, this guy becomes solid. But in our country, somebody will have 5 master degree with no experience. So you get in a ministry, what happened? That ministry will collapse because the experience is not there. This is the situation Africa faced with. Jamal, what say you? And then we'll move to Nigeria.
I think Mr. Dollar want to say something.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think we will close on this here, but let me just make this thing clear to we us. When I'm talking about bringing the youth into the systems, it's very, very simple and clear. The youth, when they're learning on job, like what Paul just stated, they will gain some experience to immediately take over. But when the older people continue to stick there, not giving a chance to the young people into leadership, these are some of the things I'm talking about. So we need to bring the young people and train them. Like what the brother was just saying, he said because of the experience, we don't have the experience, but nevertheless, the only thing that will solve African problem in terms of administrating affairs of the state is the system should be superior. We have the system written on black and white, but we are not practicing the system. That's one of the major problems we have in Africa. System is our enemies. We don't respect the system. Like you and I in the West, the system that here, we abide by it, we live with it. Sometimes the president or the prime minister can be out of office for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. But the government moving smoothly, he will not notice it because of the system. But that is not happening in Africa. So system, we need to look at it too as well.
Dore, I want to bring Jamal on this one here because most of the European countries, they were ruled by kings and queens and then military people that set up this system. They went and imposed something on us called democracy that we don't even understand. So how can we have a system that we don't even understand the logic of democracy? And these people went through it for centuries to be able to settle this kind of system, but then they decided to dump it on us.
Therefore, if you say that, the argument, the discussions will continue. If you talk about system, we talk about religion as well. Those are things that are foreign to us, right? Paul, you can refine it the way you want to do it. Religion structures were given to us, democracy were given to us. Now they told you whatever you practice is not a good one. You should practice what they preach you. Now, what can you take it and refine it and suit you? We don't do that because we don't live by the tenets, the components they introduce to us. We introduce into our own culture, our tradition. So I think we should do like they had when you used to hear people like Mualim Julius Nyerere, we call the African culture socialism. They had a way of transforming the way the leadership looked like. People like the late comrade Thomas Sankara, people like Sabara Machel. Other people keep transforming the system to fit Africa setting. So Paul, it's up to us to see if they introduce something to you, you take the best out of it and make it out of yours and best out of it and suit your system. So they are not saying like this is democracy. How does it suit you? This is why you should look at it. This is how I also work with religion. You're right. Religions were brought to us from outside. There's nothing called African religions in Africa that's been practiced. Only few people practice African religion. They call it atheism. And they determine they call it atheism. Right. The biggest two religions in the world today that is practiced in Africa, Islam and Christianity. Those are the biggest religion, and they're all brought to us as foreigners. So you practice it today. But now, this is what I say is good. But now, I want to tell you now, the discussion is going to go on and on and on. They will discover about taking foreign beliefs and other stuff. So, but let's confirm it to you. Let's keep it around democracy. Democracy is something we don't know what it is. Probably we look at it from a different angle. But then we need to respect every facet in democracy, every tendency in democracy. But then that democracy will bring it to us. Probably it may sound strange. It's not strange. They say in the rule of law, respect one another. It should be governed by you, by everybody. Should be practicing it. We don't want to practice it. We just talk about how can our leaders leave the stage for others. We don't leave stage. When we are defeated, we don't want to take defeat. We say like it's hurting. We want to stay there until we change things around. Look at people that got educated in Europe. People like the present Afghan leader. What's the guy name? What is the first name? Something on Alassane Ouattara, well-educated guy, working the war bank for many years, very respected. Now he stay there, he stay changing the terms to fit him. He's not preparing to leave the stage. He bar all other people that should take over. So what are we looking at? These are people that got educated in the West, Paul. They got Western education. They know all the systems, the structures, how to put a structure in place. But they are not leaving the stage for other people to stay in. Then what happened? Chaos set in. That country will descend into chaos. So he's afraid that if he leaves, his own people will be haunted. So this is a system. So we need to respect the structure in place. But the Western democracy they gave you, they're not telling you, look, practice what they're doing. The biggest democracy in the world today is India. Look what's happening in India. I mean, it's the biggest because there are many. But now, who practices the best democracy? Nobody does that. That's if you want to confirm it, if you want to define democracy, practice what is the best democracy in the world. You don't know how to know that. So if you want to look at it, it will continue, the argument will continue, the discussion continue on and on and on if you want to put our own perspective. The thing is, we need to look at it what suits us as African and take the best out of it and treat our poor right. The thing is about democracy is about treating each other right and practice the best way out so we can enjoy, everybody to enjoy the same way. Nobody's better than another. And this is why the religion tells us we're all equal. Yeah, I mean, that's why they say to we're all equal, but are we really equal? Equal? This is the question. You see, that's the point. So that will be my take on it. It's difficult. It's a difficult argument. It is a difficult argument. It's a difficult point of discussion, Paul.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamal. I think we've so as we have for Liberia, let's talk about this situation with the issue of Donald Trump saying that he's going to bomb Nigeria because they are killing Christians. And the issue there is that this part of Nigeria that been accused of killing Christians is something that I want to speak to a Nigerian journalist. And what he said was the area that this situation is actually taking place is between Niger and Nigeria. And to make matter worse, what happened in the Congo, they have discovered huge chunk of minerals in the region. So one money people got a lot of young people in the area with arms. So the question is, who armed these people? Boko Haram been in Nigeria for donkey years, been going after people, but now this new part of between Niger and Nigeria, something is happening and is based on mineral. So they're going after Muslim and Christian, not only Christian, but this is the situation on the ground. And Donald Trump said he's going to take action for killing Christian. So why say you, Jamal, you talk about religion? This is the thing that is a jihadi war or the Christian against Muslim, according to Donald Trump. Why say you? Mr. Kamara? Okay, friends, say you go while Jamal is preparing. Francis?
Look, Paul, the president should have gone to the G20 meeting in South Africa as well. He did not go. He canceled because of the same allegation that the white people in South Africa are being targeted. So President Trump's assertions that relations profiling the murder in Nigeria is unfounded, is not true. According to statistics, a lot of the people who are victimized are Muslims. Again, it's Trump. So I think we usually have a chance to even discuss that on this show because a lot of things the man says is not true, bro. So that's always our that was always our time, but no. So I think our more substantial and substantive issue to talk about than to be talking about Trump. Because it makes no sense.
That's Africa news for you, bro. And Jamal, what say you so Padori can close on this one here? Is Trump really going to bomb Nigeria or what's happening? Or is he
Paul, what I think I want to go with Francis that we should not be discussing it, but I think I want to make one statement on this. Trump is a newsmaker. He just at some point will just within a week he will make a news. So he's just a celebrity in short. So whatever he says, it makes news because he's the most powerful man on earth right now, so to speak. So whatever he says, it doesn't 100% on weight. So why would we give credence to people like Trump? But you gotta listen to him because he says something minute. And I've been speaking this on Nigeria. This guy's preparing. I don't know what is true. I can't confirm this. There are soldiers preparing to land in Nigeria already to take up to put boots on the ground, whatever they are doing, because Nigerians are worried. It could have the after effect. And one thing you should also know, the people they call the terrorists, the Islamic terrorists or jihadists, once you start hitting them, they got more stronger. I'm telling you. So look at other countries. So probably you heard this a viral video going around where Iraq, they've been hitting Iraq. They were hitting Iraq. Who running the country now? The so-called jihadists running Iraq right now. Look at Syria. They hit them. The president of Syria is part of the Islamic jihadists. So all other countries, if you're thinking about hitting those countries to get those guys out, you're giving more room to those guys to build up. People in other countries like North African countries, North American countries, those guys have been trained as missionaries. They are finding a way to go earn. So once you give them more room, they want to go to fight. People that came out of Libya, they came out of people who fight from Libya, Niger, other places. They are all higher missionaries. They want to go under an umbrella, under the name of Islamic jihadism to fight, to earn, to gain money. People come from Ukraine as well. So if you start to bomb Nigeria, trust me, Paul, it's gonna get worse. Nigeria may be divided, and it will be those guys been fighting for supremacy, the so-called Boko Haram group that want to get some land, and they want that opportunity to happen. So when you drop a bomb in Nigeria, it's still going to change. Those guys are not leaving Nigeria anymore. So that's another thing he does not know, and he's using it. But you know the agenda Trump is pushing. You know that he will use the word religion together for somewhere. It's not what he meant. This is what my colleague just said. So Nigerians need to be very careful. Most of them welcoming this guy to drop bomb in Nigeria. But mind you, the consequences got to be massive, and they got to be a negative impact on the country.
Yes, thank you, Jamal, for that information, because we know they how they call these access group are also around the Niger and Mali area. So Boko Haram is already there. So if we give them the opportunity, Nigeria will tend to chuckle. I'll do the close all, and then we'll move to Liberia to talk about the budget.
Yeah, you see, what happened with this thing is I don't wish for this thing to happen. For one reason is, if Trump go to work and destabilize Nigeria, the population of Nigeria will spread all over in the world. More especially we the Africans, West African people, will not be in peace. They kept the one city alone, which is Lagos. The population there, in more than 3 West African countries population: Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia. You understand? The one city though of Nigeria. So if you Trump go to where and destabilize Nigeria, under the pretense he say he fighting Islamic jihad and this and that, he himself, who you talking about, he say he's the Christian, he never put it for in the chest one single day. So if you cause this problem for all, we the West African, Trump should stand by to solve the problem for the West African. Because the Nigerians spare all the way in West Africa with this civil war in that country. You're not going to be peace. You're not going to you Paul and Francis. The Nigerian would not come to Liberia and say we're running away from war. We will say no, you can't come. It's not possible. We know the population of poor guys. So I'm praying that it should not happen. That's all I can say in this thing here.
Look, Paul, the thing, I didn't want to discuss it, but it even making me so annoyed. Trump has no right. This is an aggression. This is a breaching other countries' sovereignty. He already has a problem in the Caribbean. Already, killing innocent people. Why you want to police? He received the rebel leader of Syria in the White House. This guy is a joke, and he's a really scary joke because he has no head on his shoulder. He was just coming. Why do you have any right? There will be an aggression. Nobody will go bomb America. I mean, so President Trump, he has to stop. This is a sovereign country. You just come with makeshift allegations, and then you come with one. If you have your own agenda, you have your problem with Nigeria as a country. You have diplomatic means or sorting that out. And the government should destroy the poor country.
Yeah, I can't agree more with you, Francis. This is the guy that supported Benjamin Netanyahu to kill a Muslim in Gaza, pretending like he's the peacemaker. So I can't agree more with you. He's just a person that comes and says something to this. He want to destabilize Venezuela. And you know what happened a few days in Venezuela? Because when it started that nonsense, there was a cargo ship and plane from Russia that carried over 200, how they call them, the Wagner group with some arms. They back up now from Venezuela. You don't hear much about Venezuela. Jamal, I'll send this over to you. Let's move to Mama Liberia. Regarding
Right.
the most talk about budget.
No. Paul, let's put a hold first. No. We're not talking budget right now. Let's put a hold on the budget.
Before we talk, let's talk about the voting of our
Right.
people in the diaspora.
Now you get it. You know, we want to give credit to people like he's sitting here right now. Francis Massacre. I keep calling him Francis. Sorry, I apologize. Francis Mensah. He's the leader of EFLA, the European Federation of Liberian Associations. And you know, they started a campaign. Liberians, you have dual citizenship. It started here in Europe, and they went to America, and America got a support for it. And now we have dual citizen. We got dual citizenship, Liberian living abroad. And now I remember 2 years ago, I was in a conference. EFLA started a campaign together with eminent person Emmanuel Weti, others, to fight for Liberians living outside to get a right to vote. And now, this topic is a center of discussion today in Liberia. I think last week there was a conference. Liberian diasporans were in a conference. They were discussing Liberians living outside should have a right to decide who will lead them. So the bigger credit will go to Liberian organizations like EFLA, those in America. They are taking the lead, and now this is your work is coming to light. So we want to discuss this. But the good news is, Francis is here to tell us more about is this going to happen. Francis will take us through. This is a dream. I think the board chair of EFLA, Honorable Mark Miller, was one of those who will be voicing out for this. And now he'll be a proud man to talk about this. I hope one of these days we'll have him to discuss it. But let's speak on this now. Paul, I would like to give the chance to sorry about that. Was it this? Yeah, to Francis. Francis, now. Oh, sorry, this is not what we're talking about. I'm trying to change the story. I just got a newspaper clip. I want to bring it out here so we can talk about it. Please, this is it. Sorry, guys. I don't get it right. No, I think I'm still getting it wrong. But anyway, I will get the story. I'll get the story out.
Take your time, get it.
Yeah, but this is something important. Francis, you are here tonight. Thank you for having you here tonight. Tell us about this national giving us Liberian living abroad in all part of African countries, USA, Europe, in Asia to vote. Is there something going to happen, or is this another political talk?
Well, no. This idea came about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when we had a discussion about the successful pursuit of the dual citizenship. And then we thought it wise looking at the numerical and financial strength of Liberians abroad. It was about time that we participate in the electoral process, in the government, in formation of the government of a government in Liberia through voting. So meetings were held between EFLA, the European Federation of Liberian Associations, and the Union of Liberian Associations in America, ULA, as well as Emilian Wetty, who who has been the front liner, the front man in championing the dual citizens ship act. So we approached the government, and the CDC government was already ushering up. When we started to discuss it, and it was a welcoming news. Kingston were at the time, who is our representative. When he met the speaker, met the pro tem, and some government officials at the time, and it was welcoming. They received it in open arms. But yeah, the problem here is that look, this is a process. It requires money, and we told them the financial aspect shouldn't be any problem. I mean, we will handle it from this side. They have a lot of organizations. The IMO got a lot of organizations that we're willing to sponsor. But yes, the catch-22 data authentication of Liberians, where we can have the Europeans have a database where we can say that this amount of Liberians, technology-wise, where we will be able to vote. So all the things will come into play at the later stage. We are anticipating to do that come the 2029 elections. So as of next year, there will be an intense preparation, engagement to see that come 2029, we all have the opportunity to vote and be part of the process, to influence the process back home, because we cannot be sending our money back, remittances, and then we cannot form a part of decision making in terms of leadership of the country. So that's where we are for now. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll give a first shot to then guys you take on from Francis. Francis, many African countries are economically better than Liberia. They are not practicing this diaspora voting because it's capital intensive. That's one of the things, like you just mentioned about data and getting data to not only their political parties, because government and election commission should be able to fund most of those elections outside, and also getting the ballot papers to the country, very, very expensive. So most African countries, I think I remember some years back, the only country that really practicing it too well in Africa, it will be South Africa. Nigeria, other countries that I think are economically viable, they are finding it very difficult to get the process done. And we are struggling economically. How feasible can this be? Because we are happy about it right now. Now we want this to happen. We're having a meeting, we're discussing one of our votes with people to understand that we can vote, we can decide for leadership in Liberia. But then it's still really feasible because economically, people, when the government is even crying, asking for help. If you look at the election commission budget, most of the money is coming from outside. And they also transporting ballot papers from other part of Liberia. It also become a very serious problem ahead. Now you're getting it out of Europe and out of Asia, other African countries in America. It's not a challenge. Like we see in the world, something signed good, but it's not. Is it really feasible for us? Looking at
Well, first and foremost, preliminary engagements with the foreign ministry, the election commissioner, and the House of Representatives. First of all, we need to be, I think, according to my understanding, that the diaspora has to be a constituent. We have to be electoral constituency are built within a jurisdiction. So first of all, that's the first stage. So the diaspora needs to be a constituent, what you call a constituency for it for the first place. And secondly, it is possible digitally. You can go to the embassy in London. You cast a vote if you want to participate. We can, we are diverse and very serious. We can start, we go to Brussels and cast your votes. Electronically, you go there, and do segmentation, DC, and those, in the certain parts of America. It's very cost intensive. I will agree with you. So we are hoping that, come 2029, at least it will be the first phase. We will try to do something. At least our brothers, we can do it from Brussels, because it's just technology now. And the people in South Africa to do the same thing. I think the Kenyans here, they try to do it. Yeah. So it's just a matter of having the platform set up, and we have IT professionals that can build a platform. So yeah, basically, the government has always said that they don't have money, so we don't expect the government to put any money into this stuff. It has to be our partners, the IMO, the European Union, if we actually if we do succeed in the process.
All right, gentlemen, we have you don't have to ask Francis the question. Let's share our opinion on this. He just shared his opinion. He's been a leader of taking it. Doesn't mean that you have to answer all the questions. Let's discuss it, gentlemen. I'm looking at it. I want you to ask the questions here. Look, the various political parties. Sometimes we are almost 19 political parties that represent you. I mean, put their presidential candidates out, and we want equal representation at every polling stations. Now, the voting will be, the ballot papers will be in the hand of the sitting government. Do you trust them? Mr. Dollar, you from the opposition party. Will you go to a vote? Let's agree you go to London to a vote. I mean, is the ambassador is being handpicked by the ruling leadership? Mm-hmm. Will you trust him? Will you trust them with your vote?
Thank you very much. I won't trust her with my vote, but I have to work with her because, as a matter of fact, that she is the one that spearheading.
But the question is, whether you not think your voting would be your vote would be tampered?
Here's the situation. First of all, I want to ask my question. Then before I can answer the opinion. I want to know from Francis. Did the lawmakers in Liberia have agreed to pass this referendums to make it as a law that compare the Liberian government and a sitting government to allow the citizens outside of the country to vote?
No.
It's in the book. The law is in the book. I think Musa, let me help friends on the one. Musa Berete has said it's a law that been around, but they refused to implement it. It's in the book.
Okay, well, I have no idea, but I have now seen it was in the book.
Okay, Paul, if the thing is in the book, what we need to
is it constitutional, right? Is it constitutional that I mean is in the book?
Yes,
I think it's constitutional, right? That's why.
Yeah. If that's the case, we the Liberian in the diaspora need to demand our lawmaker to publish this particular document for everybody to have notice of it. That should be the first step. You guys that are representing us in the diaspora leadership need to please make sure to take note of that. Compare our lawmaker to publish. So long one of the lawmakers have come up publicly and made a statement that the thing is in the book, but the lawmaker refusing to publish it to make it known to the public. You people that represent or you try to demand them to publish this thing here. One, what Jimmy just said. Jimmy, you and somebody can be working together. You don't trust a person, but you have to work together. That is in this kind of case. The sitting ambassadors will not like to see her or his government to leave the power. So they will do anything possible in their capacity to fraud or to cheat the election result. But if the main opposition that have been recognized by Election Commission, they are represented in a various country, should be given credence to serve as a poll watcher, to supervise some of the activities and monitor some of the activities down there for the election period. When people come to vote, you should be there to allow the people to vote freely. And also, when the counting is happening, these representatives should also be there to do the counting or whatever to be sent to the Election Commission head office in Liberia. You should be in the knowing of these representatives.
Okay, thank you. Paul, the question comes to you. I want to have this as a discussion. I don't want to keep saying I don't want to. This is not. Francis is not here to answer the questions. We're all discussing it. He gave his opinion on it, and this is it. Paul, Mr. Doll just said something about political parties should have the representatives at the various stations, like I said, abroad. And the various embassies will be the polling centers, right? Now, can most political parties in Liberia afford to send out a representative or look after them outside at the various embassies? You think so?
Not possible.
So what are we looking at here?
Even in a country like Liberia, they don't have the money to even have pool washer within a country. Then, so where would they get money from to send people? Look at it. Think on the other side. I agree with what Francis said. It's about time that Liberians have the voting right, because constitutionally we should be able to vote because we are also the accepted the dual citizenship. So there must be no room for that. We should have that right to vote. But here is the catch. The National Election Commission, it says need reform. They have not talked about that yet. Before the electronic thing come into place, we have the capability of doing it for them. But are they waiting to do it? Because one of the things that in Liberia, when you give the diaspora the room to vote, some of these people that now even qualify to be president or representative will be kicked out. So there is a sticking point here. So this is we versus them. Are they going to accept it? The Election Commission, will they be accepting electoral reform? These are the questions we should be asking, because 2029 is just 4 years from now. So although it can happen, but the steps should start from those who sitting now, the lawmakers. Let them put money into the budget. Reform. We can take knowledge from here and go there and have the Election Commission that we want to vote. So are they waiting to do it? As long as they're not waiting to do it, I don't think 2029 will be possible.
Right. If you just join us, this is the Brand Liberia. We are discussing issues like Liberia. We are now discussing the national voting right, voting for Liberia and living abroad to take part in the elections in Liberia to decide who lead them in Liberia. Now the question is, don't you think it's a complexity? You talk about it in Musa Bede, how someone Musa Bede says in the book, right? It's in the book. Don't you see the complexity? Like Honorable Mensah just said here, we need to develop a constituency. We should be a constituent, like for a country. Is it a country from, just get me clear, is it like Europe, Asia, Africa, and America should be a constituent? That's why that's one constituent that should be one representative. That means we should have one representative. Australia as well. So we should have one. So that gave us a right to vote for and be represented in the House. Is that correct? Mr. Francis?
To have more than 2-3 representation in the House.
Yes, I mean that if that has to correlate with the current electoral laws and forming a constituency, then the diaspora will have a representative, and that has been one of the points people were raising as well.
So we should have like a senator and a House of Representatives.
Well, I think basically it's a House of Representatives. I mean, right now, I don't think we have a senator. We have a representative.
Okay. All right.
If that has to happen, so.
Okay. All right then, Mr. Dollar, what are your point on this?
Yeah, Francis, how possible can whichever to be the diaspora representative will be stationing in Europe or in the outside of the country, or they will be stationing at the Parliament House.
I mean, like all the representatives, I mean, you have to go back home. You have to be there. You have to work. You cannot work remotely.
All right. Thank you very much. That's what I want to know. So, do you think someone would like to live wherever their families and things there in Europe or America?
That's a personal choice. That's a choice somebody has to make.
There are people waiting. If you give it
all the people that can leave from America, Europe to
looking for
minister,
job,
and they can go and they can leave their family and go.
Yeah, listen to me. Some of these people then some of these people then will know the motives. We know the motives of them going to go for this job. So because if we are selecting someone to represent us, listen to me, and that's my personal opinion. If we are selecting someone in the diaspora to represent us in the house,
well, no, we're electing someone. We're not selecting. We're electing.
We're electing someone. Yeah, give me a chance. The point of the matter is, whoever that we're going to elect, people going to petition a person to stand first. That is a selection. When he stands to run for the leadership, then people will vote for the person. So whichever we are choosing to vote for, we think that we have some credibilities in the person to stand and defend the right of us. Can the person go and live in Liberia?
Mr. Dollar, listen. Paul, can we transition? This is an obvious question. We don't want to move on to this. Paul, this is simple. If there's somebody going to run, these are conditions being laid out. We don't want to discuss this, man. This is obvious. Can we move to a different topic? Mr. Dollar, if you are running for an office, these are conditions attached to it. We don't want to discuss those things. Please, I'm sorry.
You have to leave your family to go live in abroad.
It's up to you. That's a choice you have to make. Why you want to be president, what conditions you have, that's a choice.
The question I made to Alpha Dolly, it's a simple question. Not talking about representation here. Do you think, Padole, that this will be possible for us to vote? This is the question on the floor. That's talking about those who are going to represent. Do you think it will happen?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the other story will be developed later. Yeah. We don't want to worry about that. We'll get
to for the vote.
Yeah, the question is now, okay, let's reach for that. So it's up to, like you said, the law is there. We should be able to speak for it. I don't think it's of the House of Legislature to publish it. It's in the Constitution. It's a public domain. It's there. You can take it and read it. We're reading it out right now to our people. We need, how do we fight for that? That's what FLI, other organizations in America have been fighting for. You make sure that these things come to light. We should be able to exercise them. It's in the book. The Constitution is an open thing. It's there. Everyone can read it. We don't expect the House of Legislature to publish it for us. We need to push it for our rights. So I don't think we should push those kind of cases here, Mr. Dollar. You know it now. You told us that Musa Dollar to us. Paul to Musa Ability said it's in the book. It's written. But the problem is the complexity that making them not to exercise it. But then what do we do? What role do we play as diaspora to make it happen? That should be our task. That's what Paul is asking. How does it work? How do we be representing Liberia? How do we vote? So this should be whether you want to leave your family to go represent Liberia, it's up to you.
Yeah,
that's a personal choice. So guys, if you just joined us, this is Born Liberia coming to you live from the mainland Europe. I got my colleague Francis Mono Mensah from Sweden. He's with tonight. He's the EFLA chairman as well as a panelist on the show. Paul the Lord Cherry, based in London. That's the seat of King James, also here, the good friend of King Charles. Mr. Morris Yakuba Dolly is also here with me. My name is Juma Kamara. We're going straight to the one that made news tonight. Paul, what is it? Making news in Liberia.
The thing that making news in Liberia, the most talk about $1.2 billion budget in the history of our nation, that this was it couldn't have happened. So
okay, Paul, we'll take a quick break. Let's take a quick break, Paul. We'll come back. We start rolling. It's okay.
Go on.
Let's take a quick break. And to come back, we'll go straight into what's happening in Liberia. It's a big news right now. Welcome once again, Jamal Kamaris Mani, joining me from the city. I'm coming to you live from the city of Manchester, United Kingdom. Tonight we have been talking about what making news around the world, and also we talk about Liberia. I have my colleagues to discuss it. Paul the Lord Chilip is here tonight. We'll be discussing all the issues. Liberians living abroad to have the right to vote, to decide who will lead in their country, to decide who will be their representative, to decide who will become their leader. We have discussed that. Now we're looking at the complexity. Why is it not happening? Paul just said to us, it's in the book. What book? It's a constitution that we have the right to vote. Now, I hope we can have it happen. So until then, we go straight towards making news. $1.112, that $1 billion budget put forward by the Ministry of Finance. Now, it's the talk of town. The question is, can we achieve it? Now we're going to discuss it. Paul has gone through this budget. Since it came out, the minister has been around. Minister of Honorable Constantine Gaffwan has been to defend the budget. That's a draft so far. He has to go to the House to look at it and see the possibility of this budget coming up. Now we want to look at it from our own way. I know you've seen it. If you join us now, you've seen the budget. If I had any thought on it, just drop your comments. We'll see how we can read it out. But then Paul has gone through. He has a day, 2 days now go through the budget. Paul, we're going to dissect the budget, how you look at it from the top to the bottom. And also, if you have a comment, let's share. Mr. Doyle also here. He has the opportunity also to look at the budget. Francis is with us tonight as well. We'll be looking at the budget from our own way. I know we look at the budget everywhere. It's our responsibility to discuss the budget. What a budget! What a budget! When you say budget, it's not the revenue; it's the budget the government going to operate on for 2026. That's what we're talking about. Where the money is coming from and where they're going to spend the money. That's what we're going to discuss. Paul, take us through, please.
My man, it's a wonderful thing to have a budget for 1.12 billion, not million, billion. And this situation with this billion in Liberia, it says since 1847, it couldn't have been possible. Then in 2017, there was a political leader called Alexander Cummings came and said, but we can turn this thing into 1 billion, if possible 2 billion, because there's way to do it. And people doubted his ability. But United Party decided this guy makes sense. It's something that we can now do to turn the budget into 1 billion. So they came up with the 2025 and 26 budget, and we're going to have this thing. So the question here is, where is the money coming from? And what they decided to do, they decided to tax bread, peanuts, and all that for this budget to work. And we'll be diving into it. And they also got money from Estela Mita, 200 million to make this budget work. Yes, classic budget is too, the budget is good. Some areas, the legislatures will benefit heavily. The executive will benefit heavily. But the question is, this fantastic budget, will the people benefit from this budget? So we'll dive in it. I want Jamal, I don't know if you have the thing to display it so our audience can see. You muted.
I think I'll give you have the fine chance to rule. But let's do it this way, Paul. Let's do justice to the minister.
Let me see if I can send it out.
Yeah, okay. No, you trying to lock in, trying to put on while I'm discussing it. Let's do it this way. I think Francis and Mr. Dollar have the opportunity to speak about it. Let's see first, yeah, gentlemen. Paul, you need to let's do it.
That will give me a few minutes. So talk about me, see if I can.
Yeah, Francis. Okay, while Paul is trying to put the stuff, but Francis and Mr. Dollar, I don't know who wanted to go first. Let's do justice to what the Honorable Minister did for us. He said, I'll just go give some information. He said, $1.2 billion, 2026 draft. It's a draft. And now they said 94% of this budget will come from, it will be made through domestic contribution, taxes, and other payments. Then that means the budget from last year, 2024-2025, has been increased to 37%. Now we're looking at where we're getting the money. If you had an opportunity to read the budget from the minister draft, take us through what do you see this budget look at? Where we get the money and what are the challenges you think we're gonna have? One of you can take on Mr. Dollar or Paul. I'll
Yeah.
go Dollar first.
Let me come in before Francis, if
Hmm.
possible. Basically, my argument will be based on this: where we getting them, they know where they getting the money from. They have stated it, and we should be expecting it physically in our country. But my point is, where they going to spend this money? Who going to be the beneficial of this physical budget? The average citizens of the country, or the godfather then in a executive and legislator? Because from my short investigations I've been conducting since I heard about the budget, the way they're going to do the distribution of this budget, from my investigations, I found out that many of the monies will be given to two branches of the government. One is executive, two is legislative. They're going to benefit it physically, hardly. And fail to realize that the average citizens, like a civil servant, should be the beneficial of any progresses of the budget, the finance the country has. The civil servants should be the one to benefit mostly, and also the judicial system should be a place where funding should be given to them to avoid them be corrupt, all this kind of thing then. But I don't see it in this budget. I only saw it that the legislator, which is a president of Pool of Temple, the speaker, the deputy speaker, they're going to have their budgets increased. The president and the vice president, the national security agencies, these are the places that are the focusing on to dish out the money to them, which I find it very, very wrong.
All right, Mr. Dollar, before I go to Francis, probably you need some information here. I'll tell you, I'll break it down for you. Probably you don't know. They said health. No, not good education. How are they going to spread it? Yeah. I'll give Francis. Francis, I hope you mind. Let me tell Mr. Dollar where they're going to spend the money, so you have an idea where they're going to spend the money. They told us 124 million will go to education. That means free school, new classroom, better pay for teachers. Those are local people. They are civil servants. I will tell you. They also told us 102 million will go to hospital, medicine, and medical supplies. They also told us, you talk about justice. You didn't see anything in justice. And to security and justice, I'd like to go to road and infrastructures, road network. They said to us 133 million with roads and bridges and transport. You got that? Now, what you say you're asking for security. I probably didn't see that part. I want to let you know. They told us 152 million police, courts, prisons. They'll be spending. Those are key one. Anything had to do with security and justice. You just say you didn't see that. They will spend 152 million on that for 2026. And for no information, public administration. You'll be running government offices where there'll be all the other something. You'll be spending 146 million. And for energy and environment, electricity, clean energy, having better energy, environment, you'll be spending 176 million, 78 million. Now you have 14 million will be for farm, food, and small share. Then they have 34 million on audit, tracking, and spending. So that's the breakdown of the budget. So probably you got to go look into that. You were talking about security. That's how the budget has been broken down. That's society. So
if it does, I'm going to revisit the budgets again.
Okay,
but the major thing that I was focusing on is one I'm just telling you.
Okay, no, yeah, there was some increase somewhere. Let me give Francis a chance.
There was an increasement in those areas. The presidential
budgets,
the executive mansion, the vice president, the speakers, deputy speaker, and the president pool of 10%. So the senate president, all these things there, there was an increase.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much was given to them?
Basically, I don't know exactly figure, but what I do saw that there will be increase.
Okay. You said you're going to visit. I'll give you the room to get. Paul, let me get a chance to Francis.
So there will be increasement in those people's budgets. The previous one that they were using, they're going to increase it, more especially for administrative this and that and rest of it in their bureau offices. That's what I heard.
Thank you very much. We did not really heard it. Okay, you want to leave it, Paul? Francis. Now, we just got right here. Paul just displayed the budget. If you're just watching, we're discussing the Liberian national budget for 2026. Paul just broke it down here. Mr. Francis, I want you to take me through. Give me your overview of this budget. What do you think? Where the money is coming from? Where this money is going from? Where Paul just put out. That's the kind of synopsis of the budget, the draft for 2026.
Look, my view, looking at this budget from the peripheral on the surface, I've not read in depth the budget, I'll be honest, but no, just some what we call an overview of the budget. I think it's good to know the raise the budget for the country up to 1% is historical. I hope it's not just rhetorical, political, because this budget is actually a projection of what you will spend, my income, revenue generated versus expenditure. That's what it is. And my concern, I have two concerns here. One is that the increment in the offices of the speaker, the deputy speaker, and so forth. And the other concern here is that the burden of generation of this money is heavily on the consumers who do not have the financial means, to purchase goods and services. Things are already hard in the country, and you want to have, to levy or increase taxes on the people, So that's the two concerns I have. We are being crying, we are being demanding, we are being imploring the government to, for the reduction of the money going to the House, the legislature, especially the office of the president, the vice president, and the speaker and deputy speaker. While we have been advocating for a decrease, they are increasing the budget. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would people have so much money?
Yeah.
Why would they have so much money? And then you are actually strangulating the ordinary consumers who can barely afford to support this poor lifestyle. Their budget need to go for they need to go on more review. Take it back, because it doesn't make any sense to me, bro. Good that you have $1 billion budget, historical, politically, you have, because I think comments are being Mr. Comments are being saying that it's easy to get one person to jump the gun. Raise the budget to 1 million too. So we don't know. It doesn't make any sense how you raise the money,
But Mr. Dollar just said the same thing. He said that he had issue with the same thing he's saying, with the issue of why you want to increase the spending or the budget of the House and also of the president, vice president. Like when the common Liberians don't have the means. But then, if you look at the breakdown here on the screen, it says sometimes people be reading it. There will be increase from the value added tax, which is in Liberia sense GST, will be raised from 12% to 13% on the common people. And now concessions, company will be pay extra 2% tax, and new digital commerce tax will come out. So we also, according to the minister, will be servicing 230 million debts. That's what we'll be servicing. And now 200 million come from ArcelorMittal. But then only one term. What will happen in 2027? That's another question. Paul, what do you look at? Paul, I mean, Francis just gave his view of it, but what do you think we're looking at right now? What are we heading to?
Jamal, there's something in Liberia that we all familiarize with, it called D-hole cover hole. This budget is actually, look at the 13% that will be on the total setting donors and the taxes on them. And now this is the situation that the country faces with. So we know that the average Liberian live on $3 a day. The businesses that they're doing, if you tax them heavily, how do you expect? So that means you put more pressure on the citizen here. Now, you did ask a question about dollar if you know how much the legislature taking. The senators alone, they're taking about 16 million of this budget. That's a high increase in them. The speaker budget has gone up, nearly 2 million plus. The vice president, the president, they all gone up. So think on it. So who benefit? So this, you see, this is just the other software is looking good, but on the end, the poor people will be the one to pay the price of this budget. So who does the budget benefit? That's the question. If the budget to benefit the poor people, then we can have a very nice cup of tea and say, yes, this government has done well. And Francis said it well, because Cummins said he can take the budget to 1 billion. So you decided this is up there. Let's bring it out. Yeah, we can do it. We're capable of doing it. But who benefit? This is the question.
But then the argument the minister, Honorable Minister Gafan is arguing is that we want to spend more to grow. That's what he's saying. We want to spend more to grow. But then it comes to the place where you say arrest the agenda. We look at agriculture. Agriculture takes least if you look at the allotment, the budget allocations, agriculture is the least that got, I think, what is some money? The agriculture is taking like I look at it right now. What was it? Agriculture is spending about 14 million on agriculture, 14 million. Now the government itself, what I'm seeing right now, government costs like salary supplies will cost 930 million. 930 million will go to salaries and supply. That's government. That's it. Then you have a 281 million will go to like power, roads, network. So the least going to developmental programs. So government pay, and when you talk about the House of Legislatures taking more of the money, 930 million going to government pays and supplies. Then 281 million goes to road, electricity, schools, and stuff. That's how that budget is being allocated. So the question is, what is wrong with the agriculture part of it? Then they're saying we were talking about empowering the people in the agricultural sector. Why are they taking 14 million? I mean, how much is this? So this is something that we want to understand. Francis just put it right. But the minister has defended this thing. Don't you think minister did a proper research before he come out with his assessment to say that we can raise up to this, we can make all this money, we can live, we can service it, 230 million. You think government is making this something like they're not sure what they're doing, gentlemen?
Look, let me be practical. I have to leave soon, guys. I got more. You guys are 1 hour behind me, so you guys can stay another hour.
Let's go on.
Yeah, look, let's be practical. Look, there are so many ways the government practically can raise, this money. First of all, creating an even environment where people can invest for all. Look, small scale business, our businesses have to thrive. Look, you have to give tax breaks, so to speak. But look, let's say at the free port, Liberian owned businesses, I ship container from here. I go to it takes me days, almost 2-3 weeks to get a container out. You know, so these are some of these avenues that should be created for businesses to come. I mean, once you get it, you get it or break tax, so to speak, tax break, but the entry into the market is much more easier. So I mean, then you can create jobs. You can have. I mean, look, we have unemployment rate so high in our country. Unemployment rate so high. So what do you do? I mean, create avenue for jobs. When you create jobs, people will pay taxes. You know, so I don't understand. I mean, we are into the what you call it, the mining sector is being overly overwhelmed. Everybody put digging diamond, digging gold, yeah, minimum exploit. No, agriculture is a very viable tool for employment.
Yeah.
Why are we not looking at that?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we looking at giving 300 million extra to people in the House of Representatives for what? The president, I mean, his office, the executive mansion is so full. It's so full of. I mean, you got everybody employing. Look, I mean, this is so disturbing, man, guys. I mean, I'm so disappointed.
So I know you want to leave us. So what will you, if you're given the opportunity to speak to the Minister of Finance and a consultant advice? What would be your points to tell the minister, Mr. Gafuan?
Look, I did economics in school at my bachelor. I'm not economics, but I'll take it from a practical standpoint. Look, minister, this is very what you call it, ambitious budget. It's good for the country. But hey, yeah, we have to do take a lot of the money from these people. Once you increase their budget, I mean, they should cut down some of the staff in the offices. You go in one representative office, he has over 10% in his office that the government has to pay. Look, these people should be able to create having revenue for the government as well. You can't just be sitting and paying them. What my advice to the minister will be, look, let it be more practical. Cut down, I mean, take some money from these people, put it into agriculture, or create a grants for not seeing money. That money that is there, the extra money given to these people, give to farmers, get them grant, let them open their businesses, let them build so they can employ people, so they sell, so they have money. Even the same money, the people pay taxes from the money. I mean, we have to look. We are being practical.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, Paul. Well, Francis, I want you to speak on that. Paul, don't you know that it will be constraining for people? They increase into the VAT, the value added tax. I mean, instead of taking it from giving it to them, they're taking it from they're adding up to the more they're calling it like the presumptive tax for the people that are working. 13% you'll pay that. They're not even helping them out. What do you see that to be? Is that something feasible for our people? Is this something?
No, just quickly. I mean, the tax, you do not even have do not have in social services to give. Why are you taxing the people that have money?
30%.
I mean, I have percentage, rather. Why you do have any available social services?
Francis is right, because you bring the hardship already on the people. So 13% thing on this. If this guy go buy bread from Lemony people, there'll be high taxes on it. Then how much are going to sell it to the people?
Yeah. It's going to put strain on the private sector because they're going to raise the price up. Because when you tell them to pay 13% tax, they're going to raise the price. So how much you and myself can afford to buy? If the bread won't do it, like 200 LD, Liberian dollars, they got going to make it like 400 because it's been raised. Yes. So they want flour, other things to go because they're going to pay tax for it because they're a registered company. So that's another thing. But they're taking the money to the House of, like Mr. Dollar and Francis just said, they're taking the money to the House of Representatives, to the President's office, to the Vice President's office. So they come up with not benefiting anything. In fact, let's agree. If there's any increase, going to be any, did this put any increase into payment of salary, civil service payment?
Sorry, Jema, I put this up. This is the arrest developmental agenda. Agriculture. If you take the the 16 million that they're going to spend on the legislature just for the upper house alone. If you take that money from there and put it into agriculture, in the next 2 years, the country will feed itself. Look below there, you get rule of laws, you get sanitation, you get tourism. Tourism is a huge job creation. What the money that gone into tourism?
You know, according to the whole budget, agriculture receive 1.2% of the total budget. 1.2%, weakening the rural transformation prospects. So, where despite being the largest employer, the agriculture receive less than 1.2%, less. So, what is the idea? Now, we want to feed ourselves. What do we feed ourselves? So, I think the question is, I don't know whether, I don't think, Paul, please take this down. Like, you know, the issue is like, we need to have people to really query the minister. People that are well informed of this area. Like, what when Tim Paul, gentlemen, I may be wrong here. In Liberia, when they have a press conference, people need to understand what the budget is, and understand the implications, and looking at the other causes. But what are people, the people that turn to ask these ministers or these people that come up with this information, probably they don't do proper research to see the good side of it. What the good side from the common people? What are they going to benefit? Like, why you myself just looking at the budget from an all practical perspective? The question is not being asked well. Is it what would be the problem? It's still like, are we afraid to ask the right questions because we'll not be given a chance to speak to the minister, or we not have the chance to have a capital? You know what this capital is as a journalist, or we'll not be given allowed to go in there and ask the right question. Let's forget about being. We're not talking partisan here. We're talking about being practical in Liberia. We all seen this particular budget. It sounds to be very good. I've got physical envelope, the physical envelope for 2026 seems to be very good for the government. Okay, but then looking at the practical sense, is the common people benefiting from this thing? I want you guys go one at a time. Francis, before you go, what are we taking from? Let's go to Francis before he leaves the dollar. Then he's going to be leaving soon.
Look, it's indirectly. They may benefit. The roads construction will be, it will help, people go from one place to another. Yeah, that's the indirect, but the direct benefit in terms of economic empowerment is not there. It's not there. So literally,
Francis,
I mean, you just creating a class. There's no middle class being created here from the budget.
Francis.
Yes, sir.
I just want this day you talk about the road. Jamal, let's put this thing on and see how much we're going to road, because there is a budget that they set up already from Freeport all the way. The 17 company should have taken over. You know how much it's going to cost the government? $330 million. Now, if you look at the budget, that's just one aspect. So, how much in the budget?
Is that the one the guy called John Ubote, who's the manager run or something? But he's being inducted.
No, there's a 17 company. There is a 17 company. So, that road alone, it carried 300 plus million. Now, let's look at the budget here on roads. You see that? What you see on road, Jamal?
The roads about 113 million.
133.
133 million.
Okay, this road here from Freeport all the way going to the airport, the border, it's more money on that road alone compared to this one.
But Paul,
it's a difference. It's a difference there. I mean, I didn't know that road is a grant money. This road, I mean, the 133 million, that money that the government going to raise itself. That's a difference. That's a loan money. That's money so from African Development Bank and whatever bank it is or whatever it is. So the government itself is raising 133 million to supplement.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Francis. The reason why I brought this up, so the peanut seller, the cattle seller, they're going to raise this money for this road. you get a point here, Jamal, because they're
And
going
additionally, they're gonna raise money to pay the service that debt back for 300 million or so as well.
230 million.
Yeah.
That's the debt we'll be
Yes.
servicing. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Dolly, you want to say something quickly before we end this show?
Yeah, can I say something? You know, in any given
Well,
situation,
guys, I have to leave. I'll see you guys.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you, Francis. Catch you on Friday. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do that.
All
Mr.
right.
Dolly,
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dolly.
basically, my concern in any given situation, security is very much essential. If you create hardship on the citizens, you create more insecurity of a nation. The private citizens, the peaceful citizens that will be traveling from one end to another, they will not be secure. So the government need to employ strategies that make life more easier for our citizens in order for even those that we will encourage them to come to the country to do some investment here and then, they will be able to move freely. So this thing what the government is doing, the money that they say that they're collecting, they're putting more hardships on the ordinary citizen that will be doing their petty trading business and stuff and things, and take that money and dish it up to the high class people in a higher achievement. So it's very, very ridiculous. So let the government reconsider the decision of the dishing this money. Let them come back. We agree that they should increase more money. Every country always increase tax on people based on the condition. Even the country that we're in, which is UK, every now and then they always visit the tax system to see whether they should increase or they should not tax. But what our government is doing, increasing the tax on the average citizens, ordinary citizens that are making their petty trading business and stuff and things, and take that money and dish it up to the master then in the House of Parliament and then executive. It's not right. It's not right, to be very frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, I want you to do me a favor. Paul, do me a favor, Paul. Paul, I want you to put up that screen again, the subnotes, and take us through. I want you to tell where the money comes from and where the money is going. Just go through one by one for the benefit of those that are watching us right now. Liberian 2026 draft budget. Take us through where the money comes from and where the money goes to. So just break it down for one. And we're looking at it. This is what the ministers got one presented to the House, to Honorable Richard Cohen.
So he said it coming from the local people domestic revenue, 94.1%. That is huge. So it's coming from our local people, grumpy seller, color seller, and Kuwait seller. Those are the people that are going to generate this money for the government. Then in the concession area, they're going to add additional 2% on tax for the people that.
What the concession? The companies, right?
The companies, the diamond company, the iron ore companies, all of those big companies do. So they will add additional 2% on it. Now, then they got a tax break from Metal Steel that gave them $200 million for 2026. So Metal may not be paying anything in 2027 as it goes. So that's where that's where the money will come from. You see, so the bulk of this money, 94.1%, is based on the people, the struggling people. They're going to raise the money.
What about the
new digital commercial tax?
Yeah, anybody that somebody people are bringing any electric something, maybe they will also tax that.
All that they're going to pay extra on it. So
they'll be paying tax on us.
Yeah, so those are where it's going to come from. So in reality, this alone, I'll tell you something, Jamal. You asked a question earlier, say, why is our journalists not asking the tough question? You remember in Kenya, the Gen Z, they called them, took on the government because the government decided to increase taxes on bread. And it got the nation so angry, they took on their government, the government had to withdraw that. Same nothing that they need to happen in Liberia. Because If you look at the budget by line item, the policeman who on the street, there's no increase in his pay. But the legislature, there's a huge increase. So who does this benefit?
Yeah.
I mean, the people struggling already. So this is
Yeah,
where
but Paul, I don't want to take you back to security and justice here. It got something like a 152 million will be going to security and justice. What does that mean then to you?
You know, in Liberia, the security department, what they call NSA and all that, they cannot be audited. So in that security sector, every year when they do budget, that's where they put the money. There's no accountability. So it's almost like a cash machine. This is where the president, the government official can go withdraw money because so that security thing, just think on the thing. Are we building weapons for that kind of money to go into? How many people work in the security sector that they huge chunk of money? They get more money than any other entity.
Okay.
So think on it.
Yeah.
So
So
why that
let's
money
break
will
it.
not go on tourism or go agriculture?
Yeah. So if you're not watching, if you're watching right now, Paul talk agriculture. If you look down here on the agriculture is taking 78 million. I think that's the least so far on this budget. At the bottom of this list, 78 million is going to agriculture. So why education taking 124? Health is taking 102. Health. I mean, Paul, let's go delve into one at a time. Mr. Dollar, if you're with us, I'm going to reduce this. Let's do it this way. Let me see what I can do here. I'll set it up different. Paul, what is this? Right. 1 second, Paul. I want to do this way. Right. All right. This way, guys. If you look at it, I'll just put it on the side. Let's go. I will just look at where the money comes from, where the money comes from, and where the money is going. Let's look at let's go back again. I want to just clear on this. We said 94.1% is going for domestic. That will be paid from people's salary, pay business people will pay. There will be taxes and other things will be paid. Color seller will pay. Cement seller will pay. Rice seller will pay. There where the money will come from. And
people that have small business and stuff.
Business will pay, right. 5.9% to make it 100% will come from donors. The European Union, World Bank will pay. Another percent will come from consensus. Consensus means big companies, mining companies, dama companies, manufacturing companies that manufacture, they will pay. There where the money is coming from. Now they say GST means the government add tax to whatever you buy. So every time you buy, shop will not add tax to that thing. If you're saying something like
we call it VAT.
Yeah, value added tax. So what happened is like we're just gonna break it down for you to understand. So if you buy something like if you buy a bottle of Coke or Coca-Cola, if you're like 250 LD, they'll add 13% on it. 250 LD, 13% will be added to that. That price will go up. That 13%, government will take that. That's what government wants. So as of 2026, just if this budget is passed, believe me, whatever you are buying, it will be increased. Why the people selling? Because they'll tell everybody, because the LRA is there, Liberian Revenue Authority is there to collect those taxes. So definitely, every business seller will be forced to add this tax because they are working for the government, they collect the tax for the government. We are breaking it down for you to understand. So that's what GST rates tax. It was 12%. They have added. We're going to add 1%. Now 2%. What does that mean? 2% tax on concessions. Concession means big companies, mining companies, manufacturing companies, big companies in Liberia. Apart from the 13%, they will also be paying an extra 2% to pay tax, so able to cover the money to make the budget $1 billion budget. Now, new digital commerce tax. We don't know, it's just clear. Probably what they're trying to do is here. You add tax to electronics. It could be telephone you have, computer, anything that comes to the country, you're going to add tax to it. So those two, when you buy, anything electronic, you add tax on it. So anything new you buy electronic could be telephone because we're all buying. This is where we're all into digital stuff. Anything digital could be telephone, TV, any electronic thing, they may add tax on it as well. We don't know exactly how much it's going to be. So they're where they're going to raise the money from. Now, let's go to where the money is going. They said to us, capital budget, revenue, the capital budget, where it's a spending government. Education, government is willing to put for teachers' pay and stuff. 128 million, 24 million will go. That's the highest so far. No, not the highest, for this terror on the list. Then you have health. But the question is, Paul, is this going to show medical supply and payment? But is it now? Are we training new doctors? Because a lot of hospitals but no doctors, and then no facilities. So because if you look at it, Georgia Bay 2 or 3, Ellen Bay 1, Georgia Bay 3, I think 3 health centers, hospital. Georgia built 14 Medical Hospital. They built the Emory Hospital in Bopolu. I think he also built another one called the New Redemption Hospital. Will be open soon, right? So Georgia built, Ellen built the Jesse F. Dual Hospital. So those hospitals, with all those hospitals in our country, our ministers, our deep-pocketed people are leaving the country to go out for treatment. I don't know why they're doing that. Well, that's another thing. Because while you build those facilities, we don't have people to manage them. We don't have the medical practitioners to manage. They may be in Liberia. They're not well paid. They're not looked after. They don't have to go. They're not well paid. Look after to work in those medical facilities. Now we go to roads, infrastructures, road connection, connecting various towns, various villages, where you can bring food from those farms to the road. That's where the importance of road transportations. Then we say they're going to be infrastructures, that they're going to be 133 million. That's where the money is going to budget. 2026 budget will be spending 133 million on road. So that means we expect every little villages to be connected in Liberia, at least. That's what they're saying here. Now, what is security? Paul just told me 152 million. Paul, that's the highest on the list. But then the question is, they don't audit the security. So they're going to put that as a, how do you call that? Paul, what is the name again? Put that to?
I said it's the ATM machine.
ATM machine. That's the highest here. 152 million. Why they do that security? We don't know whether they're going to increase the security police officers' pay, or they're going to get a new gadgets, or they're going to be armed for them to equip them to get rid of crime in the country. That has to be explained in detail. But whatever we know, we don't know that the police officers or the paramilitary or the military themselves will be paid well and looked after. We will also talk about where they live and the infrastructure, other things will be developed. But then the 152 million, joint security, paramilitary, and the military themselves, all the paramilitary fall under the joint security, all part of the joint paramilitary joint security. They will have the military, those 152 million. But in the good news, the thing we don't know, want to let you know, people don't audit the security budget. 152 million going to security. So whatever they do in there, you're not have no right to ask them, what do you do with their money? That's the highest on the list here. 152 million go to security. Am I right?
Yeah, what happened about security budget system is this. The security got many ways of. Are you there?
We are listening to you, sir. You are the security officer.
Yeah,
now.
The security got many ways of using the money. Security will be monitoring some public enemies in the state. Some people are classified as dangerous person in the communities. The security have a right to monitor these people. And those that will be there, changing shape on them to monitor their behaviors and things, they need to be paid beside their personal. Beside their wages. So security got many things to do with the budget.
Yeah. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, for what Christ's sake? Go on.
The classroom teacher that getting $75, they're not working. Listen now, every year in Liberia, when the budget comes, the security take the hard junk of it. The fact is, we're not even buying ammo tank for no one. They're getting all weapons that they grease every time that they put on their side. They're not doing. These guys wear black clothes. They get vehicles that last for 4 or 5 years. So where you think there's money going that to get go spy on somebody that when you take huge chunk of money for a group of people to serve? Look at the students, for Christ's sake.
Healthcare, George, Paul as well. Healthcare, for Christ's sake. Our health workers.
The importance of the citizen is not important, but security.
Mr. Dollar, we do agree that the police also, they are civilian. I mean not civilian, they are citizens, they need to be served.
They are civil servants. So the police they pay, they are civil servants.
Can I say one or two things here, gentlemen?
Go on, please. Yeah.
I don't want to disclose the actual.
No, we don't want you to, but tell us,
but our
apart from those spying on people,
practically-
what are the major spending money go on?
Yeah. Practically, I will tell you that it's very much essential to spend on security.
Now,
Because on one side,
sorry,
from one side,
Mhm.
all the things that you people talking about, if there's no security in a state, there's no way that the people will function. So the security are there to work to prevent crime being committed. So one of the best way to provide security is a many way to provide security for a nation. Not only to put uniformed men on the street. That's not all to it. The citizen must be having something to occupy their mind. That is to do work for government to provide means for them to have employment that will occupy their mind from concentrating on the next person how to rob them. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a many way.
I don't understand what you're saying, Padre. I don't get it. Anything you're saying, because what happened, we know the people in the local community, their crime that committed, it go free. So what if they're spending money on security? What become of these people that you spending the money on that they're not getting protected by this so-called security? Now, if schools and hospitals can benefit the people, then but only benefit security, I'm sorry. This is the feeding place. That's where they get the money from. So ATM.
Mr. Dollar, I mean, we are asking you because you're a former security officer. While we do understand that the security ourselves, they got a right to pay and right to equal benefits as any other civil servants. The question we are asking right now, we are not saying that security does not need a budget. They need a budget. But why is it that the security budget is now audited? Why is it that this budget? I mean, you're not a minister of. Mr. Abdullah, you're not a minister of finance here to defend this. We're asking you because you're a security officer. The question is, what confuses the past government? Most of the money was spent on security, but then the question is, we have issue of insecurity, death issues in the country. A lot of things happen. People feel insecure. People are snatching bags. A lot of things happening. Security or fight. Security officers, see most of our security officers, the uniform they wear, they're all faded uniform most of the time. They have to buy their own uniform. Security officers in Liberia, most of them buy their own uniform for the salary. It's not be given to them. They're even their gear they wear, things that they wear, most of them they buy for the money. It's not be given to them free. Tell me you are a security officer. Forget about the power one, the honor, the how do you call it? How do you call them? The undercover. So I'm not talking about the undercover. Most of the one you see, the one that wear uniform, like the immigration officers, the immigration officer, the other one that wear uniform. Yeah. How many of you government gave free uniform to? Tell me one, please.
Yeah, when I was in the force, the time I was in the force, normal day before the Liberian War, the initial issue each of the police officer, because I was working in the logistics department at the time. The issue Liberian National Police every year 2 good time every year 2 times.
Free. Okay.
Provide you the boot, provide you the hair gap, we provide you the uniform, every accessory. We need to provide every year 2 times.
Okay. What about the police barrier? Do you pay rent? Your living area.
Police barrier. Samuel Kanya don't start building police barrier in order to, and those that were responsible to have that police barrier, to have the opportunity to live in that police barrier, was those that standby unit, like a rapid response unit in Liberia today.
How much, if I may ask you, how much you were taking if you're those days, the salary compared to today?
250 probably.
$250.
Yeah. You know, the Liberian dollar.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. What are other benefits Liberian police on paramilitary receive apart from the pay and what other benefits?
If you are going on a special operation,
which year was that? 250 Liberian. Which year?
It was in 1980 up to 85, up to 86.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when in the police, we were getting $100 and some more dollars.
Yeah, but that was a war time. After the Civil War. After the Civil War.
But Francis, so quickly, apart from that, what other benefit you guys are receiving?
From 1980 to 1985, 86, up to 1990, we were taking 250 United Liberian dollars.
Well, you're making money. A corporal?
Private.
What was your rank at the time?
Patron, I was a sergeant.
Was it
patrolman? A patrolman was making 250?
Yeah, patrolman. Go check.
I found that difficult to believe.
No, but go check. We're not going nowhere. I am telling you.
Padole, was it Doe coins you're receiving that amount?
We were receiving, when the Doe became president, we were receiving US dollars.
Okay.
But later on, when we changed it to Doe coin, we were receiving Doe coin.
So the $250 are Doe coins.
Yeah.
Quick. It was a lot of money then.
US dollars.
It was a lot of money, but I still don't believe a patrolman was making 250.
I am telling you, patrolmen were taking 250.
Okay.
Quickly. Even the all the law enforcement, immigration, patrolmen, military, patrolmen, police, patrolmen, all were taking 250.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Dollar, quickly.
The Samuel Doe administration came up because before the war, before the overthrow, the salary was less. It was about 100 and something. But when the military took over, they say, we've been struggling under this bill for long, so all our law enforcement will take from 250.
Okay. Mr. Dollar, thank you very much. Mr. Dollar, quickly, before I need one comment from Francis, just a quick question. Probably Mr. Dollar struggled to answer that question. I'm talking about the budget of the security. Why is it for accountability and oversight? Why is it that the government is not allowing to do this accountability? It's not subject to accountability and oversight. I mean,
only one institution know as the NSA, and bulk of the money go to the NSA.
Exactly, they can be audited.
Why you think is that?
Oh, I mean, the NSA, they do covert and overt operation by the country. So, some of these things the
sake of the defense of the country, it's national security
interest and personal stuff as well. So, I don't know this reason why as a reason, but I mean that's why they need to see they can be audited.
Okay.
And why the bulk of the money go? That's why some two are in trouble for today because the government. It was one of the election campaign that are going to audit NSA. By the time they got the power, after 1 year, close before 6 months, so they say they can't audit NSA anymore. Because where the money is going.
Yeah, point of information, Jamal, you see, look here, what the brother just said, Francis. The department, that particular security department, the reason why they do honest things because they do a lot of clandestine operation.
What they call covert. It's a covert operation.
That's
what I'm saying. They do a lot of clandestine operation, covert operation. So covert operation, there's no limitation of spending the fund. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, then. Thank you very much, guys.
Let me ask this question, Jamal.
Paul, bring this down, Paul.
Yeah, let me ask this question.
Quickly, yeah.
The government rescue the nation. I mean, the people are suffering, they rescue the people, but their budget tell us there is no rescue in it because if you increase taxation on the people, there's no. So if you decide to give security that huge amount, now when registrations start in Liberia, children don't have money to go to school. There's no paracetamol in hospital. So you prioritize security, then the health and education of the people. It does not make sense.
Yeah,
you cannot
please,
prioritize security.
Let me just say something, then you can go on, please.
Go on.
You know, if I were you, what I should say The governments need to, where they're sending the money to the House of Representatives and the executive mansions, area, president and the vice president, they need to cut down our budgets and add on what are you talking about. But the security is very much essential, bro Chiliplay. If you just know,
Padole, you know, when you come from a sector, you want to defend the sector. That's fine.
Okay.
In Liberia, the people does not benefit from the security. There is everybody take law into their hand. So the money that go into the security sector, they cover operation, all of these operation. Why is the people feeding the impact of this so-called money that go into these people? That's the question.
Anyway, guys, Paul, let's have we have spent time so much on this. I want to say a big thank you. Want to let you take your last round to tell us what we take from this conversation tonight. We've gone like 2 hours plus in something. We had a very discussion on these topics. It's good to discuss what library is all about: security, national budget, and also the voting for diaspora living, Liberian living outside. So I'll give you the first time to tell me what is the takeaway from today's discussions on the borderline.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I'll take a lot in the tonight discussion. Number one, I will start with security and out with the reason why the youth should be given chance to be in the politics.
Yeah, make it snap. 3 minutes, please.
Yeah, I'm going to make it short, very short. You know me, I'm not too talkative. I struggle to talk. So
I mean, you're already talking. You already got 2 minutes, 1 minute of your time.
Yeah, the security is very much essential. But not all securities mean that to put a uniform man on the street. You see, like what the brother just said, they giving huge amount of money to security, but still the citizens on the street are bearing some pain. Insecurities is going on. People taking law into their own hands. The security is not only relying on the uniform people. Even you, sir, as a citizen of the country, you have a right to protect the state. So the security should be for everybody's responsibility. So, but the certain elements of in a society can be allowed to be there to judge between people and go from one end to another to serve as a deterrent, all the kind of stuff and things. That's why they have uniform people on the street. But the real security of a nation is lies in the hand of the citizens themselves. And the only way that can happen,
you got 2 minutes already on the security. One more minute left for you.
Okay, let me switch over. Okay, something about the youth involving in African. I don't say Liberia as a whole because Liberia is part of Africa, but the reason why I'm saying that the youth should be allowed to fully participate in politics is this, because the point of the matter is, as people are getting older, something we call dimensions come in. You know, you can be clever, you can be any kind of junior, but once certain age come in your life, you can be a dummy person. So if you have to have people to replace you, so that's the reason why I'm saying that we need to start bringing our youth into politics to teach them how to administrate, and equally so put rule of law first. System should be the guardian of everybody. That's what I can say. Thank you very much for allowing me to talk tonight. The next time we can open up to security. What's the best way that we can secure our country? Then we'll discuss it when we have the appropriate time.
Paul, thank you very much, Paul.
Thanks, gentlemen. It was a good show tonight. Discussion, good talking point regarding the voting rights for Liberians. I think it will be a good thing that the diaspora have the right to vote. And also with the budget, I think the government budget they came up with is the hasty budget. They just want to showcase that because Mr. Cummings said that it can raise the budget to 1 million. So UP want to use it to showcase that, yeah, they're able to raise the budget. But The whole budget, I think the legislature should reject this budget because it does not benefit anyone. It's a budget that only benefits the executive and the legislatures. It does not benefit anyone. So the budget is complete momo. It's not a good budget for the country, honestly. How on earth can you take 200 million from a company that you gave them tax incentive for 4 years based on, so when it comes 2026, 27, you'll not be able to raise that 1.1 billion again. So the whole thing here, the budget, I think the legislature should reject it. It's complete nonsense. It's not in the interest of the people. So on that note, with the security situation, the security sector money is more than anything because that is the ATM machine they go and collect money from without other things. What kind of security we have in Liberia? They don't even have paper to say they have some serious weapon that they will protect the country in terms of Guinea trying to invade Liberia. They don't have one, but every year you get huge money going into them. They say covert operation. Covert, what are they CIA? What will benefit you from? So the whole security sector, sorry, Padole, but it's just a stealing place, nothing else for the country. If they invest the money in the citizen, the student, and the hospital, when the people are healthy, the educated, that's a good society. But not security people work there, can't steal. Nobody know where the money going. So I'm sorry. The budget need to be thrown out of the house. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. I want to say a big thank you to those who joined us, more especially to Elijah S. Moses, Morris Barkley, and Jefferson Carter. Many others who joined from wherever you joined from Europe, America, Africa, Asia, and around the world. This is the bottom line Liberia. There's a live discussion. Once a big thank you for joining us. Look, if you watch this show after this live broadcast, please always click a like button. Let's share the show. We're going to be here every Tuesdays and Fridays. Liberian time 7 o'clock, UK time 8 o'clock, US time. Central Europe time will be 9 o'clock. Thank you for joining wherever we joined. I want to leave you a beautiful Liberian music. I want to say my colleague, Mr. Morris Dole, thank you very much for coming, for being part of this show. Your contribution is always appreciative. Francis Monomensa, our big man from Sweden, who came here to give his contribution as well. Paul, the Lord should be good friend, King Charles. I want to say a big heart to condolences to our good friend, the Afro King, that's Linford Egongwe, who lost his mom. We open the show to send our heartfelt condolences to him, and we say as a big sorry in a Liberian way. Just sorry, and we want to wish you well while you're going grieving for your loss of your mom. That's a big shout out from all our guys in here. Say a big sorry to you, and from our colleagues who couldn't say hi to you, we say on behalf of the family, we say thank you for joining us, and we want to leave you with a beautiful Liberian song. Have a pleasant Tuesday evening.
The same experience, market the king, no buying. At least if I go. I not see plenty thing with my eyeball. I swear I feeling passing more pressure. If you let cause me for not to judgment, they can put so on my skin. I know when you ain't no fool is a big disgrace. My king just a heaven for my won't let him to you when I hate too. So to my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my.
This is Bottom Line Liberia.
Thank you for being part of the Bottom Line Liberia live discussion. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Be part of the conversation every Tuesday and Friday. That's 9 p.m. Central European Time, 8 p.m. UK time,